So hello students, now we will discuss about your group 15 elements. Okay, group 15 elements. Okay, and this group 15 elements are also known as your collectively nitrogen family. Okay, so basically this group contains 6 elements, out of which 5 elements, first continuing 5 elements are important for all of you. So the elements present in group 15 of your P block in the long form periodic table are in the long form periodic table. The long form periodic table are, that is nitrogen, symbol N. Next, that is phosphorus, P, and arsenic, antimony, and the last one, that is your bismuth, Bi. Okay, so you just remember these 5 elements. So out of this nitrogen, phosphorus, arsenic, antimony, and bismuth, these 2 elements, nitrogen and phosphorus, are non-metals, and this arsenic and antimony, these are metalloids, or you can say semi-metals, and this particularly bismuth is a typical metal. Okay, so they are physical states, it exists as they are non-metal in nature. Arsenic and antimony are semi-metals, and bismuth is a typical metal. Okay, so if we go through their occurrence, and these elements are known as nicogens. Why? It's a Greek word, and its meaning signifies these elements are suffocating in nature. These elements are suffocating in nature. That's why these are called nicogens. Okay. Next, we will discuss here about their occurrence. Particularly nitrogen mostly occurs in the form of nitrates, and nitrites. Okay, and it also present in atmosphere, that is 78% by volume. 80% by volume. Okay, and various ammonium compounds are also there. Okay, through which your nitrogen, this is the occurrence of nitrogen and phosphorus. In all living matter, phosphoproteins are present. Okay, in all living matter, phosphoproteins are present. It is present, it is present in the form of, okay, phosphates, okay, in all living organism, in all living organism, phosphoproteins are present containing this phosphorus. Okay, next it also occurs in the form of, it also occurs in the form of apatite. Okay, it also occurs in the form of apatite. You can consider fluoroapatite, chloroapatite, likewise. Okay, so that is 3Ca3PO4 whole 2 dot CaF2, that is fluoroapatite. Okay, next 3Ca3PO4 whole 2 CaCl2, that is chloroapatite. Next 3Ca3PO4 whole 2, okay, CaOH whole 2, that is your hydroxyapatite. So these are various compounds, okay, in which phosphorus is present. So next we will go through, and after that, you know, there is arsenic, antimony and bismuth. These are found very less amount, okay, less extent in your earth crust. So next we will discuss very important, that is general trend in properties. General trend in physical properties. General trend in physical properties. Okay, so first let us discuss about their electronic configuration. Okay, all the elements in group 15, all these elements having general electronic configuration, that is your NH2NP3. Okay, NH2NP3, that means how many valence electrons are there? 6 valence electrons are there. 5 valence electrons are present in their valence shell. Okay, so now if you write down the electronic configuration of successive elements present in all the elements of group 15, then so first one, that is for nitrogen, atomic number 7. Next phosphorus, you just add over 7, that will be 15. Next arsenic, you just add 18 over here, that will be 33. Next antimony, that will be, you just add 18 over here, 51. Okay, next that is bismuth, add 32 over here, that will be 83. Okay, so now if you write down its configuration, this is the noble gas core helium 2. Okay, next neon 10, next argon 18, next krypton 36, and the final one, that is xenon, that will be 54. Okay, so configuration you can write, this is 2s2 2p3, 3s2 3p3, so here 3d10 4s2 4p3. Okay, and this one is 4d10 5s2 5p3, and last one, that is 4f 14 5d 10 6s2 6p3. Okay, so genuine configuration, that is ns2 np3. Okay, so if you orbitally represents, then that will be 2 electrons over here, 2s. Okay, for nitrogen I am saying, then 2p, that will be like this, 1 2 3, that is 2p. Okay, so this 2p orbital, that is half filled. Okay, so this is about their electronic configuration. Next we shall go through very general trend in property, that is your atomic radii, and it also includes your ionic radii. Same thing, concept same. First one, that is atomic radii or ionic radii. Atomic radii, or you can say ionic radii. Okay, the concept behind it is, you know, if we compare, this is group 14 and this one is group 15, the topic that we are discussing right now. So in group 14 elements are carbon, silicon, germanium, Sn and Pb. These are the elements of group 14. So simultaneously after carbon, that will be nitrogen, phosphorus, arsenic, antimony, and that one is bismuth. Okay, so regarding atomic size, the atomic size of each element of carbon of group number 14 is greater than that of group 15, like this, because you know, along a period atomic size decreases, along a period atomic size decreases. Okay, why? Due to increase in number of protons simultaneously with increase in your atomic number. Increase in your atomic number. That's why the group 15 elements, that is nitrogen, phosphorus, arsenic, antimony and bismuth, having less atomic size than compared to group 14 elements. Okay, next, whenever you move from top to bottom, okay, whenever you move from top to bottom, that is from nitrogen to bismuth, then what happens? Your atomic size increases down the group. Why? Because due to, again you can write, due to increase in due to additional cells, due to addition of new energy levels. Okay, so this is the reason about the increase and decrease in atomic and ionic radii. The copy for ionic radii also. Next concept, characteristic, that is your ionization energy. Ionization energy. You know, ionization energy means it is the amount of energy required to remove one electron from the valence shell of a neutral gaseous atom. Okay, energy is required here. Energy is required. Okay, so as the general trend, we know from left to right your ionization energy increases due to increase in due to increase in nuclear charge. Okay, so now if you move from nitrogen to bismuth, that is down the group, then the value of ionization energy, the value of ionization enthalpy or ionization energy, okay, decreases on moving down the group. Why? Because as you move down the group, then the atomic size go on increases. As a result, the distance of the valence shell from the nucleus also gradually increases. So due to the decrease in nuclear charge, the release of electron from the valence shell will be easy. So ionization energy decreases down the group. Next we will discuss, that is your electron negativity. Electron negativity means the tendency of a species to attract electrons towards itself. That is called electron negativity. Okay. So next trend, that is electron negativity. Electron negativity. Okay. So electron negativity increases along a period. Okay, and electron negativity decreases down the group due to increase in size, due to increase in atomic size. The tendency, or you can say the nuclear charge, the nuclear force of attraction decreases down the group, okay. This is about your electron negativity. Then what do you think about the metallic nature, or you can say that is your metallic character? What would you expect over here regarding metallic character? Okay, as metallic character means electropositive character. Okay, so electron lose tendency, the value of ionization energy, okay, increases from nitrogen to, the value of ionization energy decreases on moving from nitrogen to bismuth. So due to decrease in ionization energy, the release of electron from the valence shell also becomes easy. That's why your electropositive character increases down the group, or you can say metallic character increases from nitrogen to bismuth. Followed by, you can say non-metallic character decreases from nitrogen to bismuth. Okay, that's why at the beginning I have told you nitrogen and phosphorus, these two are non-metals. Okay, so after phosphorus, that is arsenic, antimony, these are your metalloids, and finally this bismuth is having some typical metallic behavior. Okay, Next, the trend in property, that is your atomicity, okay, or you can say physical state, atomicity, okay. So in all these elements present in group 15, nitrogen due to its smallest size and high electron negativity, it can exist as a diatomic molecule, okay. And regarding catenation property, this nitrogen having smallest size and also have lone pair electron, so the bond dissociation enthalpy is less in these compounds. That's why regarding catenation property, only nitrogen and phosphorus, okay, exhibits some property of catenation. Next, we will discuss about their melting and boiling point. Very important, melting point and boiling point, okay. So melting point and boiling point depends upon the size, atomic size, okay. Melting point and boiling point of elements depends upon their atomic size, okay. So in this in the group number 15, the elements that is from nitrogen to bismuth, okay, you see the smallest size having nitrogen, due to its smallest size it exists as a diatomic molecule, and this molecular size also very small. So if molecular size is very small, then you can say this N2 molecule correspond to weak van der Waals force of attraction. Since intermolecular force of attraction is very less in case of nitrogen, or nitrogen molecules are associated with very weak van der Waals force of attraction, that's why it exists as a gas. And regarding melting point and boiling point, as you move down the group, the atomic size also go on increasing. So due to increase in atomic size, the van der Waals force of attraction also increases. That means the force of attraction also increases. So if force of attraction increases, then melting and boiling point also increases from nitrogen to bismuth, okay. Next we will discuss about their chemical properties. Chemical properties. Chemical properties. So in chemical property, first one, that is oxidation state. Very important, oxidation state. As I have told you, for oxidation state, you just write down their electronic configuration, that is NH2 NP3. Okay, so you briefly explain like this: NH2 2 electrons and NP3, that is 1 2 3. This is your NS, this is NP. Okay, so here if they can accept 3 electrons, then it will be fulfilled configuration, that is NH2 NP6 stable configuration. So they can exhibit the oxidation state of -3, that is your lowest oxidation state. Okay, or they can use all these electrons to for their maximum covalency. Okay, there can be lost there are 5 electrons from the valence shell if they are utilized in sharing, or they would lose during the formation of any compound. So the highest oxidation state can be considered as +5. This is their highest oxidation state. Okay, so out of all these elements, you can see if I consider nitrogen 7, so after helium you can consider like this, that will be 2s2 2p3. Okay, so here that is 2s2 and this one that is 2p3. Okay, is there any 2d? No vacant 2d there, no vacant d orbitals are present in nitrogen. Okay, that's why it never exhibit your +5 oxidation state. Higher oxidation state is not shown by nitrogen. That's why NCl5 never exists. NCl5 never exists, but PCl5 exists. PCl5 exists. Okay, PCl5 exists. Why? Due to having vacant d orbital in phosphorus. Phosphorus has vacant d orbitals. Okay, next, nitrogen has a special tendency which shows various oxidation state. Okay, nitrogen has a special characteristic that it exhibits several oxidation state, starting from lowest oxidation state -3 to nitrogen. That's why nitrogen is different from other elements. Nitrogen exhibit variable oxidation states. Variable oxidation states. Okay, means it can exhibit oxidation state -3 to +5. -3 to +5. For example, you can see this is ammonia. Here nitrogen exhibit -3 oxidation state. Okay, then if you consider that is your N2O, here the oxidation state of nitrogen, you can say that is +1. Okay, this one is -2 +1, this is +1. Okay, and if you consider this is NO, here the oxidation state of nitrogen, that is +2. Okay, next I can consider N2O3. Then tell me, here the oxidation state of nitrogen will be how much? +3, +2 +3. And here if I consider N2O4, here you can tell me the oxidation state of nitrogen will be, or you can say NO2 also, or this is NO2, dimer form exists kurchita. So NO2 you can consider this will be +4. Okay, next that is N2O5. Here you see the oxidation state is +5. Even it also exists zero oxidation state, that is in case of dinitrogen. Here the oxidation state is nitrogen is 0. Okay, and it also exhibit your these are some variable oxidation states that is shown by nitrogen. Okay, another hydroxylamine NH2OH. Here the oxidation state of nitrogen is -1. Okay, so very interesting about their oxidation states. Next, this nitrogen also exhibit your disproportionation reaction. Disproportionation reaction, for example, if I write nitrous acid, that is HNO2, upon decomposition it will give you HNO3 plus nitric oxide plus that is your H2O. Okay, so in this reaction 3, that is 2. You tell me, mention the oxidation states of nitrogen here in HNO2, that will be plus 3, and HNO3, that is plus 5. Okay, so here that is plus 2. In this case, that is plus 2. So look at this reaction. The disproportionation reaction means the reaction where oxidation means oxidation and reduction both takes place simultaneously. Okay, here you see plus 3 to plus 5, this is oxidation, and here that is plus 3 to plus 2, that is your reduction. Okay, this is another characteristics. Then we will discuss affinity towards hydrogen. Affinity towards hydrogen. All these elements affinity towards hydrogen. Okay, all these elements react with hydrogen to form their hydrides of the type MH3, because most generally they exhibit -3 oxidation state by accepting 3 electrons. Okay, so their hydrides are general formula, that is MH3. So corresponding hydrides can be written as NH3, PH3, SH3, SbH3, and next one, that is BiH3. These are their respective hydrides. Okay, so how they prepare? They can be prepared from metal nitrides on treatment with water or dilute acid. Okay, so preparation, I can say how they prepare. Preparation, suppose I am considering magnesium nitrate, that will be Mg3N2 plus 6H2, giving you definitely MgOH whole 2 will be there plus NH3, that is ammonia. 3 you can multiply over here. Okay, and 2 nitrogens are there, you can multiply 2. Next, if I consider calcium phosphide, okay, Ca3P2, that is calcium phosphide plus 6H2, giving you CaOH whole 2. Again that will be 3 plus 2PH3. Okay, so these are the hydrides formed over here. Okay, again zinc arsenide, let's say Zn3S2 plus, if I interact it with dilute acid 6HCl, then I will got over here zinc chloride ZnCl2. Okay, 3 zinc chloride plus here arsenic hydride AsH3, that will be obtained. Okay, next we will discuss the properties of hydrides. The properties of hydrides. The properties of hydrides. So out of all the hydrides of group 15, all are gases. Okay, all the hydrides exist as colorless gases, and also these are poisonous in nature. These are very poisonous gases. Okay, these are their physical nature. Then regarding solubility, NH3, regarding solubility, NH3 is highly soluble in water, while the other hydrides are insoluble in water. Why? Because NH3, nitrogen having highest electronegative element, so there will be charge separation takes place, delta plus delta minus. So it has a tendency to form intermolecular hydrogen bond, that is your intermolecular hydrogen bond. So it has tendency to form intermolecular hydrogen bond. If you proceed the further hydride, due to large atomic size, they have no tendency to form such intermolecular hydrogen bonds. That's why this NH3 is soluble in water. Next we will consider about their basic nature. Basic nature of hydrides, very important. That is basic nature of hydrides. Basic nature of hydrides. Basic nature of hydrides. Okay, so out of all these hydrides, ammonia is strongly basic in nature than compared to other hydrides. Okay, so their basic nature can be written as NH3 is more basic than PH3, which is more basic than SH3, and this is antimony SbH3, and the final one, that is BiH3. Okay, that means the basic nature decreases. The basic nature decreases. Okay, so why the basic nature decreases over here? The concept is their basic nature is due to the basic nature is due to the presence of lone pair electron, due to the presence of lone pair electron on the central atom, Okay, that's why if I consider in case of ammonia, this is NH3 having lone pair electron. If it undergoes interaction with some electron deficient compound, that is, let's say, boron trifluoride, then what happens? This lone pair will be donated to this vacant boron atom to form a coordinate bond. That's why this one, ammonia, behaves as your Lewis acid, and here this one behaves as, sorry, Lewis base, because it donates Lewis base and it accepts that it is Lewis acid. Okay, again the basic nature decreases due to, because as you move from nitrogen to bismuth, the atomic size go on increasing. So in case of nitrogen, you can write over here, in case of nitrogen, you can write like this, in case of nitrogen, in case of nitrogen, due to its small size, due to its small size, the lone pair density, the lone pair density is available for donation. The lone pair electron, the lone pair density is available for donation, while from phosphorus to bismuth, the atomic size go on increasing and the lone pair electron is diffused in a large region. So this, the lone pair is not sufficient for the donation or for the formation of a coordinate bond or act as a Lewis base. Okay, nitrogen lone pair is here, it's okay, it can donate, but phosphorus, the lone pair is a little bit of large region, arsenic, that is again large region, and bismuth, such a large region. Okay, so lone pair density, that means is diffused, or you can say the electron density over the elements go on decreasing. That's why basic nature of hydrides decreases in this order. Okay, clear. Next, thermal stability, very easy. Thermal stability depends upon EH bond length. Okay, as you move down the group, the EH bond length increases. This is ammonia, NH3. Okay, if I write PH3, P, H, H, H. So as you move down the group, this EH bond length increases because its electron negativity also decreases. So once bond length increases, then bond dissociation enthalpy also decreases. So thermal stability decreases. So I can write over here, thermal stability decreases down the group. Okay, at the same time I need to discuss over here, that is their reducing nature. Okay, so reducing nature, more weakest is the bond, removal of a proton will be easy. So it can act as a very good reducing agent. So reducing nature, I can say that increases down the group. Reducing nature increases down the group. Okay. So with this, next we will discuss about their melting and boiling point of hydrides. You tell me, melting and boiling point. If you compare the size, then the melting and boiling point order should be like this: NH3 less than that of PH3, less than that of SH3, less than that of SBH3, less than that of BH3. This should be the expected order of your melting point and boiling point of hydrides. But you know, this sign is reversed actually. Okay, why? Because it is associated with inter-ammonia molecules, NH3 molecules. NH3 molecules are held tightly through intermolecular hydrogen bonds. Okay, that's why its melting and boiling point becomes comparatively more than that of phosphine. Okay, so this concept, this intermolecular hydrogen bonding concept predominates over your molecular size. Okay. And copy for boiling point, melting point, also same trend. Okay, the boiling point and melting point of ammonia is comparatively more than that of phosphine. Why? Because in case of ammonia, ammonia molecules are associated with intermolecular hydrogen bonding. Okay, so next we will discuss about their structure. First, structure. So structure of MH3. Structure of MH3. So if I consider the example, let us consider the structure of ammonia NH3. Okay, in bonding you have go through different structures. So you know the central atom nitrogen. So the shape is, this is sp3 hybridized nitrogen atom, sp3 hybridized. Okay, and its shape, geometry should be, geometry no doubt tetrahedral, but shape becomes pyramidal. Why? Because of lone pair and bond pair repulsion. Lone pair and bond pair repulsion. Okay, so the bond angle in ammonia is less than the regular bond angle, that is 109 degree 28 minute, that is for tetrahedral. Okay, but presence of lone pair, due to lone pair and bond pair repulsion, what happens? Its shape becomes pyramidal and its bond angle is found to be 101.7 beta, 101.7, and this bond angle decreases on moving down the group. Okay, the bond angle decreases on moving down the group, because such sp3 hybridization becomes inefficient on moving down the group due to increase in the atomic size of elements. You can say the covalent bond is formed by simply orbital overlapping, atomic orbital overlapping. No hybridization occurs as you move down the group of hydrides. Okay, due to increase in atomic size. Next we will discuss the anomalous behavior of nitrogen. Okay, how nitrogen differs from the rest of elements. Okay, that is your anomalous behavior of nitrogen. Anomalous behavior of nitrogen. Anomalous behavior of nitrogen. First one, highly non-metallic. Highly non-metallic. It occurs 70-80% by volume in atmosphere. Next, highest electron negativity among all. Highest electron negativity. Okay, and in that particular group it has also highest ionization energy. Okay, and next, absence of vacant d orbital. Okay, so nitrogen can exhibit all the oxidation state, like from -3 -2, -1, 0, +1, +2, +3, +4, +5. All oxidation states are satisfied by nitrogen. Okay. Next, nitrogen is inert in atmosphere. Nitrogen is chemically inert in atmosphere. Okay, it is chemically inert in atmosphere. Next, nitrogen does not form a sulfide while the others form sulfide. Nitrogen does not form sulfides. Nitrogen does not form sulfides. Okay, so these are some few properties through which your nitrogen differ from the rest of element present in group 15. Okay, so today's class only this much. So in next class we will discuss about dinitrogen and ammonia, about their preparation, properties, all these things. Okay, thank you.